You know our kids are in trouble. It's so much hatred, so much killing, and we got to really pray for our kids, our children. Man, it's so much disrespect nowadays that everybody is saying, what happened to the kids, you know? And it's a true saying, what you see growing up as a child reflects on you as you get older. Because I know when I was coming up, but there is still no excuse because when I was coming up, all we had in our neighborhood was drugs, violence, gang banging, shooting dice, you know, killing, you name it, it went on in my hood. And when you're growing up, sometimes that has an effect on you. But there is still no excuse for you to have to turn out the way other people did or what your mama did. I know with me growing up, everybody I pretty much growed up with didn't have a father in their house, you know. You got so many deadbeat dads that don't want nothing to do with their children. You got so many mothers that don't want to have nothing to do with their children. And the respect on our kids nowadays, I mean, I was in a dollar store the other day. You can't even go to the store without seeing somebody coming in there with their pants hanging down, smelling like weed. It's no respect, cussing all over the place. And but not only is it the children doing this, I see 35-year-old men doing this, 40-year-old men doing this, 50-year-old men trying to be hip and hanging with the young crowd and trying to, when it comes a time in your life where you should get away from that type of stuff. You got to grow up, cussing don't make you a man. Being on the corner selling dope don't make you a man. That's all we had to see growing up, And it's sad because the kids nowadays, they don't respect grown-ups. They don't even respect themselves. If you going somewhere, you accidentally bump somebody or step on their shoes, they ready to shoot you, they ready to fight you, and they're sick. But this is the type of generation we are living in nowadays. And like I said, it's not just the children doing this. I see people on the corner back in the day when I was little, still on the corner right now, trying to sell dope. Don't even have nothing to show for it. Quit being ignorant. See, that's why I say I pray for the children, because I know from where I'm from, a lot of children growed up and they did the same thing that their parents did. I even know some cats, man, that their whole family was selling dope. When we was little, their grandmas was selling dope. Mamas was selling dope. Daddies was selling dope. So as they got older, what did they do? Sell dope. Even when they was young, they started getting off in all the bad things. Because around us, we had nothing but bad examples. That's why I tell people in a minute, why am I so good? I had an example of growing up and seeing what not to be. Because I know what's going to happen if I sell dope. I know what's going to happen if I gang bang. I had a homeboy, 13 years old, got killed in a drive-by right around my corner from the street that I stay on, I done had times where I walked home, me and my twin brother, in drive-bys and shooting the curb, and we jumping over trying to take cover. Because when you grow up in the hood, it's terrible, but you should learn and you should live and learn from the hood, because the hood will teach you respect, but it's so sad that we look at the negative things in the hood and we turn out to be exactly what the hood is. There to this day is still nothing positive going on in my neighborhood. Not really. I'm just being honest. And I am still in my neighborhood. God left me around for a reason. And when I see little kids growing up, and it's sad that people don't want to pull their pants up. We don't respect our elders. We go in the stores with our pants hanging down, like I say, smelling like weed, cussing loud. You see this everywhere you go. There is no respect. It used to be back in the day, if you would see an elder walking across the street, you would stop cussing. You would have respect. You would speak to that man or that woman, But nowadays, you see older people getting cussed out. Man, what happened to the respect? We have lost respect as for one another. And it's embarrassing, and it's really it's degrading, and it's uncalled for. But can't nobody change this but God. So all we got to do is pray for our children. But like I say, it's not just the children. You see grown man pants hanging down. You know what? If you was in a penitentiary, you would fit right in with that, because it's an old saying: when you was in the penitentiary locked up, you walking around with your pants hanging down. That's easy access. You even still got some people wear their clothes backwards. Why? Why? It's just uncalled for. You want to walk around with your pants hanging down. People can see your drawers, man. You smell bad already. You got your drawers showing. You bending over trying to pull you. You can't even walk because you can't. You got to pull your pants up just to keep walking because you too lazy to put a belt on because you think it's cool. And you got older people doing this. We have lost respect as people. We have lost respect toward one another. And most of all, we ain't even respecting God. So we sitting up here doing all this old foolish, ignorant stuff. It's ignorance. That's what I call it. People still live in ignorance because what you think is cool, that is not cool. You know, smoking don't make you cool. You keep smoking long enough, eventually you'll get lung cancer. We putting all these poisons in our body. You know, people shooting up and smoking and drinking, getting liver, man, losing their liver and thinking it's cool because you don't think about your body when you are doing things to it because you are caught up in this world down here. I see people all the time, man. That's why I never smoked not one day in my life. Don't even know how to smoke because I hated when my grandmother smoked. I see I've been around people, there's too many people that died behind lung cancer. So why would I want to punish my body when my body supposed to be a temple? You know, when you start getting in this word and living for God, you can't do nothing but pray for people. It is sad, it's ridiculous, and it's uncalled for. It's stupidity, you know, because you know right from wrong as you get older. But that's why I say you can't just blame it on the kids. How many people growed up in the house where there wasn't no father ever in there, and all you had to look for was the streets, and you don't change overnight. So it's hard. It's hard on the young generation, especially nowadays, man. We look at the, you know, nothing. I don't hate rap. I don't talk about nobody, but it's sad that you can't even cut your TV on without seeing sexual stuff. You see rims all the time, riding on rims and gold teeth in your mouth and chains, and like that's the lifestyle, the big house, the big cars. That's don't get caught up in what you're seeing. Don't get caught up in the hype because behind that, a lot of that stuff is not true. You think people be balling half of the time and they be falling. You know, you got so many haters like Jamal Bryant say. Pastor Jamal Bryant say, you use your haters as elevators. You know, let your haters elevate you. Don't get caught up in what somebody else got. It's not about what you got. See, we got to start looking at life and taking it seriously. And we just got to keep praying for our kids. There is no fathers hardly in these houses. Kids don't go to church. Most grown folks don't even go to church. So how can we teach right from wrong when we're not even living it ourselves? So we got to get for real and stop believing in the hype, because walking around here with your pants hanging down, smoking and selling dope don't make you no man. That's going to make you a victim in the penitentiary if you ain't careful, or you going to die soon. That's the only options. You either straighten up your life, you get locked up, or you die. There's no other options behind that. So get real with God, and, you know, don't talk so down on the children. I know I get cussed at all the time, man. You try to tell people, man, pull your pants up, man. At least, you know, respect this, respect that, and they cuss you out. But you're going to get cussed out all the time, you know. I was at a store the other day, man, and dude didn't have no respect. He wasn't even 16, 17 years old. This dude was 37 years old, man. He just out there cussing up a storm, smoking weed in front of the store, you know, got his children in the back seat, you know, blowing the smoke on them. You know what I'm saying? Man, respect yourself, respect your children. And had his music up so loud that the owner of the store had to come out there and tell him to cut the music down, and all you can hear was cussing all over the place. It's sad, man. And it's sad. I say, brother, please, man. You know, respect the people, man. Respect the store. Of course I got cussed out, but you know what? I'm used to that because I don't care about being cussed out. Because one thing about me, I'm not scared of nobody. I am not scared of nobody. I fear no man. Only person I fear is God. So I will stand up and say anything, man, because I'm not worried about nobody trying to hurt me, beat me up, or kill me. Man, I growed up in the hood, so what am I going to be scared of, you know? You put your pants on just like I put mine on. I don't care if you got out the penitentiary, you go on your way to the penitentiary, you on these streets. I don't think you're hard. Because if you notice, the average person that talk a lot of mess, when it come downtown for them to fight, they the first one get their butt whooped or they bagging out. You know, people that think they hard are not hard no way. So let's keep it real and be blessed.